Welcome back to another episode of Monstrosities Boys Hard to Touch Conversations, the podcast for Black Horror about Black Horror. I'm your lovely host, Kaya Fields, back with my special guest.
Back
Who
at
are
it
you?
Again with the white blondes. Okay. I'm Maddie of Meg Pictures Studio, filmmaker, writer, director. That's it.
Awesome. This is not only Black History Month, this is also Women in Horror Month. So I brought one of my favorite women in horror that was in the vicinity of me. Shout out to quarantine. That could come. And what are we talking about today, Meg?
Scream 2. A sequel.
Scream 2. Okay, cool. Let's just jump right into it.
Let's get to it.
Because
this is the good one. The moneymaker.
Scream 2, directed by the triple OG, Wes Cravens. Came out in 1997, starring Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox. There's a bunch of celebrity cameos in this film.
Yes.
But let's talk about the Black actors. Who do we have? We have Dwayne Martin.
Love him.
Elise Neal.
Love her.
Omar Epps.
Love him.
And the Jada Pinkett Smith.
The one and only.
And for this episode, I really want to focus on just the characteristics of the Black characters, but also focus on my nigga Randy and his rules, or the rules. So first, let's talk about the opening scene. I need y'all to pay attention. If y'all listen closely, D'Angelo opens this. There's a D'Angelo
It
song.
was so Black.
I was like, this is super Black. I like this.
Wes said, I'm with all that Negro stuff.
Black, Lord. Wes said, it's Black in here for the first 20 minutes. Then after, it's not Black anymore. It's real Negro-ish, you know. So you have Jada Pinkett Smith, who's Maureen Evans, and you have Omar Epps, who is Phil Stevens.
I think.
Phil Stevens,
the
boyfriend. And they are going to see Stab, which is a play on a movie in a movie. So Stab is
Scream 1.
Scream, but this is Scream 2. So you have to think of it as a Scream universe. It's a lot to take in. Just also spoiler alert, if you ain't seen Scream 2 by now, get your shit together. Go watch Scream 2 and come back to the episode, and then you ain't gonna get nothing spoiled. Because if it came out in 97, I was 2.
And it's on HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max. They got the whole everything.
Not 4. But that's good, because 4 sucks.
4. Is it as bad as 3 though? No.
Okay, but 3 is my favorite.
3 is not my favorite. 2 is my favorite. That's why I picked 2.
This is crazy.
2 is my favorite. 3 sucks. 4 is mid.
3 has
this ain't about 3.
It has the best killer plot twist. 3 does. You got it.
I do.
The killer plot twist was like that whole came from left field.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Dewey. I wanted it to finally be Dewey.
Dewey never dies.
I wanted him to be.
We need a shirt that says Dewey never dies. But anyways, back to
I want to live like.
I want to live like Dewey. Anyway, so
getting stabbed all the time, but never dies. It never made any sense.
So we have Jada Pinkett and we have Omar Epps.
Yes.
Because I have a bad habit of calling people by their actual names. And they are in line waiting to go see the sneak preview of Stab.
Yes.
And so Omar is like, so excited. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to see this movie, Naked Girls, whatever. Jada Pinkett Smith, who is a brilliant Black woman, and I resonate with her character so much. She's like, it ain't nothing but a bunch of white people getting cut by white people, and a bunch of whiteness and whiteness and whiteness.
And white people shit.
And white people shit. White people doing white people shit. And it's interesting because as I was doing research to prepare for this film, or to prepare for this episode, a lot of the reviews were done by white people. And they did not like that line that she said about white people, and I thought that was so interesting because it is actually true. And someone, I'm not gonna say who said it because I don't want them to like come for me because it's a big YouTuber, but they were like, that's racist, and I'm like, that is not racist, that is actually factually true.
White people always want some racism.
But this ain't about bashing white people.
Okay.
This is about Scream being a self-aware film. This is about Scream and Wes Cravens being brilliant and taking tropes in modern horror cinema and using it against to his advantage and against the film.
Which is so funny.
They go into the theater and everybody is dressed in their ghost face costumes with the knives and the popcorn. It was a lot of chaos.
What upsets me about that is that it was opening night. If y'all don't sit down and watch this goddamn movie,
it was so much chaos.
It was so much going. And then when she was talking during the movie, they like, shh.
I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all sitting there throwing popcorn, but as soon as a black lady got something to say,
I
y'all
was
want to shush her.
What is this?
No.
Sit down and watch the movie.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
So, yeah, pretty much, like I said, spoiler alert, they go into the theater. She's really apprehensive, but then it's funny because over time she starts to really get into the movie, you know. And I thought that was really, really funny. And then if you watch Scary movie, you know.
Because when she said, "Hang up the phone, it's Star 69," I was like, I know that's right.
I feel that. I feel it.
Because I hung up the phone a long time ago.
You know, and so. It also plays on just like the psyche of just like black people in horror cinema. Like, we do not do certain things, and that's why we either are killed off first or we just won't be putting ourselves in those predicaments because this.
Who answering the phone? Phone number they don't know.
Thank you.
Not me.
Hello, look, because it's probably a bill collector. Hello, but yeah. So we have
we suck.
Maureen and Phil, they're enjoying the film, and then Phil goes to go to the rest. No. Maureen goes to get popcorn first. She goes to get popcorn. You can tell like she's very uneasy.
Because she finds out it's a true story.
Exactly. She's very uneasy. She gets her popcorn, and then Phil is like a dickhead, like scares her, and he's like, "Oh, we can go watch Sandra Bullock's movie." She's like, "Nah, whatever." I think she did that because she was actually getting into the movie.
Should have watched that damn Sandra Bullock.
You should have. You'd be like,
I love me some Sandra
and so they go back to the theater. Then Phil goes to the restroom, and honestly, I personally feel like if Phil wasn't a creep and minded his own business, then he would probably be alive.
You want to know what's crazy? I said that same. If he would have minded his black ass business. He would have minded his black ass business. He would have
been alive.
Now, he might have not. He might have just killed him when he came out the stall.
The intention was to murder him, but he wouldn't have died in that manner.
And then I also wonder how small are like bathroom stalls? Because how does one stab a knife
through that thick ass? That's a thick ass.
That was like those hoes. Them hoes is thick. So I'm trying to figure out how does one. Like, was there already a hole? Maybe there was already a hole. You know how some people put holes in bathroom stalls?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like, or maybe it was like one of those little, you know, sometimes they have those little small.
Yeah.
It was some unrealistic shit.
All I know is that how did Ghostface in fact know exactly at what time that Phil was going to be in the restroom? How did he know?
Like, was he just in there waiting? What if he didn't pee at all?
Exactly. What if he had the shit? Then he'd be screwed because he'd be on the toilet. What if he did not go to the restroom? What if they didn't even go to the movies that night?
But then you know what?
Use your common sense.
But what's also crazy is I think the purpose was just to kill someone. Someone had to die at the premiere.
No, because remember
the names.
Yeah, the names. Whenever
never mind.
It was Phil and Maureen and who else? Cece.
Also known as Casey.
Yes,
yeah,
Casey. There was a method to Ghostface's madness.
But they also all went to the same school, so maybe they knew they were going to be there. But then also, it was such a high profile opening night. Yeah. Maybe he was just like, obviously, everybody's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Ghostface was just like manifesting shit. Like they gonna be there. They're gonna be there.
He's gonna go piss. Maybe he had to been watching them.
He was drinking a soda. You never know. So moving forward to the beautiful Elise Neal. Well, wait. Go into the movie. So we have Sidney Prescott, who is the baddest bitch ever. Sidney Prescott is now in college. Randy's also at the same college as her. She's turned over a new leaf, but Gail decided to write a book, which in turns turned into Stab. And now that came out, everybody's like on Sydney's ass, and everybody's coming to the college. And then of course, after Phil and Maureen are murdered, that's like a big deal because they're like, we have copycat murders, which is very unfortunate because that shit is like real. But yeah, so Neve, is it Neve or Nev? I think it's Neve. Nev Campbell. Either way, Sidney Prescott was living her best motherfucking life.
Her best life.
And then everybody got a new baby and everything. Okay. Yes, but living her best life, and then they came But I want to talk specifically about a trope that I had noticed when I watched this film recently, was that in the 90s, especially in 90s horror, the black female character, who ironically was the best friend to the final girl, always was this sort of like pick-me-up type character. Like, oh, well, girl, you can do this, you can do that, get yourself together. You know how black women are. So I thought that was really interesting, because that's exactly what Brandy's character was to Jennifer Love Hewitt in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Also in Freddy vs. Jason with Kelly Rowland and her final girl. And then also in 1997 with Scream 2 with Elise Neal's character and
always the
Sidney
best
Prescott.
friend, never the final girl.
Yeah, always the best friend, never the final. And they always that, except for Brandy. Brandy lived, but she got her ass beat. But you can read my article on that later. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Again, this movie talks about the series of rules for the sequel. And so,
which I adore.
Do you want to go through those rules?
Oh, you go.
Okay, so I have them here. So,
the
rules according to Randy, rest in peace. A significant advice started in Scream, whatever, is that there are rules in regarding to sequels. So the first rule is that the body count is always bigger.
Always.
2, the death scenes are always more elaborate with more blood and gore. I'm trying to do it like Randy. Okay. 3. So, if you want your films to become a more successful franchise, never ever before being whatever. Never ever under any circumstance assume that the killer is dead. Actually, you know what? Shout out to the real queen of horror who tweeted that whenever Donald Trump left.
Oh, I seen that.
I retweeted that.
Never ever ever.
Dead ass.
Never
that
ever.
shit scared me.
Because
shout out to Zena,
the
the real queen of horror, because that shit really scared me.
It was like the U.S. racism scare is now finally over. I said, bitch.
The killer's never dead. Killer's never dead. Whether that be racism, whether it be trumpets, whether it be whatever. But that's not here nor there. So those are the rules of.
But then he gave that rule in Scream 3. Remember when he brought the DVD?
Yeah, the DVD. Yeah. Rest in peace, Randy, man. We need shirts. Rest in peace, Randy. I really didn't appreciate Randy until watching it as like a cognitive adult. Because when I was a kid, I was just like murder. But like now,
he was he was just like, here, bitch, look. Like, how... Fuck, I forgot his name. Forgive me. But old dude in Zombieland, he had his rules. When you live by the rules, you live. And then Randy died, and with no fucking rules. Now we're all just dead.
We're all just dead. I also have a very interesting, something that's interesting that caught my eye. Final girl boyfriends are stupid as fuck, okay? And let me just get this off my chest. Final girl boyfriends are probably some of the most oblivious characters, and we don't have a conversation about them enough, but they're very stupid. Oh, Sydney, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to protect you? Do you want me to sing a song in the middle of a cafeteria?
Oh my! When he sang that song, I was
literally about to throw up. It was so cringe. I was like, she only sang it because she don't trust you. Sydney don't trust not a goddamn body.
Bro, because what's crazy is when she broke up with him.
Yeah.
And was like, I guess I'm supposed to be okay with this. And I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, sorry, did you watch that? Have you read her life story? Because her first murder was her boyfriend. And it's always the boyfriend. Shout out to Fatal Attraction on TV1. It's always the boyfriend. Always the boyfriend. Always the boyfriend.
And that plays into, I guess we're jumping around, that plays into the ending, because you have I forgot that guy's name, the actual killer, who looks just like fucking Jack Nicholson, by the way. Fucking crazy. Then you have
he does look just like
just like Jack Nicholson. I think they did that on purpose because Billy Loomis looks like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really? He does.
Yeah.
Billy Loomis.
He was fine. He's still fine. But that character who ended up being the killer, whose name I completely forgot, but he looks like Jack Nicholson. The student, whatever. And so they have the boyfriend like up on this cross, and it's like, okay, like who do I believe? And at this point, Sydney don't fuck who you are. You're gonna get shot.
Everybody gets shot.
She don't care. She got trust
issues.
And I don't blame her. But I think it kind of plays on like, who do you believe? Like, Sydney, I'm here. I really didn't kill you. But it really was the scene whenever her and Dewey were in the house, in the sorority house, and then it's ironic that Ghostface had like left, and then he got cut, and it wasn't like on an artery. He's just sitting there bleeding, and they just found him. And Sydney looked at him like,
because that's what Randy. I don't trust you. Bringing it back to Randy. That's what Randy said. You're a med student, and it is just
convenient that you did not hit
that we missed all arteries and all nerves. And I was sitting when I first watched it, I was like, it's definitely the boyfriend again, which I would hate because then it would have been like basic. But I was like, that's conspicuous.
All I know is that this film was just a big gaslighting pit for Sydney, and I felt really bad for her. And I honestly love the fact that she smacked the shit out of Gil.
I love that. She be smacking the shit out of Gil. She smacked the shit out of her ass in the first one.
She did it. She said, "You want to get smacked again?" Wow. Like
Sydney. I will always. One thing I do love about Sydney is that in most horror movies, most final girls are like really just useless until like the end where they're finally like, okay, I can
fight
do this.
Killer.
I'm gonna fight back. Sydney was never like that. Sydney was like, bitch.
She's a bad bitch too.
If you want to come kill my ass, which I don't see why they just didn't kill her. Why we gotta kill everybody else around us? But if you want to just kill my ass, just kill my ass, and I'm gonna beat your ass because I'm.
It's a lot of mommy and daddy issues too.
A lot
in this franchise, or at least in the beginning of the franchise.
Oh, yeah,
it's a lot of mommy.
No, for all four of them.
Yeah, really, yeah. It's a lot of mommy and daddy issues that are motives behind.
Like I got daddy issues, but I'm not just out here murdering people just to murder people.
Just like in the last episode, you may have depression. I'm not gonna kill nobody.
And I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'm not gonna
go pray and go to therapy.
Pray and go to therapy.
But I say that to say Sydney Prescott's a bad bitch, has always been a bad bitch. Always. But let's talk about Joel, who's Dwayne Martin's character. I think Joel is probably one of the most self-aware black characters.
He was like, hell nah.
Because was it Rebecca? That was Elise Neal's character. Rebecca was like, she played her part. She was the sidekick. She was the uplifter. She was the, hey, I'm here to make sure that my friend is safe and okay. Also, just her trying to like really, really force herself into this white sorority just sent me. I was like, where's D9? We need D9 somewhere in here.
Where are the Negroes?
Where are the Negroes? But anyways, so I love Joel's character because he's very self-aware. Like, we are in this situation where it's horrific. I ain't trying to die.
I'm not trying to die.
So he left.
Peace. He left.
Peace out.
And I love that because I love how this movie was. He took every horror trope you could find and was like, bitch, here we are.
Scream is smarter than Scream. Scream doesn't know how smart Scream is.
Like, he was like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not getting paid enough.
He said brothers never make it out of situations like this.
I don't. See, you know who don't do that?
Skin folk.
He was like, I'm not doing this. I should have read the book. I didn't read the book, but now that I read the book, I'm gonna hop out.
It's time to go.
Because he left right after Randy got killed in his camera van.
He said, my camera van's a crime scene thanks to you. And Gail is so selfish. But let's really talk about Randy and his importance in this movie. I feel like Randy's extremely underrated. I feel like people really didn't appreciate Randy until after he died. And especially in the third film, Randy was like the main thing. But also, I definitely just feel sorry for him because he was talking about like that unrequited love that he had for Sydney.
Yeah.
And
she never saw him.
And she never saw him.
And I hate that.
And I hate that he died with that. You know what I mean? He accepted that. But Randy was a very, very vital, important part to the case and
he glowed up.
And did James Kennedy?
He was fine.
He was cute.
He was white being fine.
He was cute, you know. But even in his death, he was still like passionate, and he was a nerd.
Because the nerd was supposed to get the girl.
But that's how it was because he died. Yes. But if he's a nerd, then he's a fine nerd.
I'll take one.
Yeah, I'll take two.
Buy those at Target.
So, what's your favorite kill in Scream 2?
My favorite kill in Scream 2. I wish Cotton would have died, but he died in the third one. So.
Cotton got.
We're not talking about Scream 3 though. So
no, Cotton. The way he was. I'm a womanist, y'all. So when Cotton and Sydney were having that conversation in the library, and he was putting his hands, I was like, smack him.
I was like, smack this man. I was like, Sydney, we be hitting the shit out of everybody
else except for him.
It's time for Cotton to die.
Cotton, he was such a smart ass. I'm an innocent man. It's that privilege.
Like, are you innocent? You're white. But are you innocent? That's debatable, cause
yeah. My favorite kill, non-kill, was Dewey, because Dewey never dies. Dewey never dies.
I feel like my favorite kill was Randy's, because of how important Randy was to the story, and they had to get rid of somebody from the original. There was Sydney. We could obviously can't get rid of her. So it was either Dewey or Gail or Randy. We couldn't get rid of Dewey because he's Dewey, and we can't get rid of Gail because she's Gail. And unfortunately, Randy was the weakest link. Randy was just the one left because Randy was really just a comedic relief throughout the movie. So he was easily disposable. Yeah, which breaks my heart, but. Like when he died, it was like, okay, y'all, because everything was so lax of fucking daisy. It was like, oh yeah, two black children got stabbed in the movie, and oh yeah, this white girl got thrown off the building. But like it was just like, oh okay, whatever. And I'm like, bro,
everybody's literally walking around this campus like, okay, people getting murdered. There's
their white and their white privilege. We're just
there's a killer on campus, and y'all niggas, right? It's just walking around. Let that shit happen in PV. Let that shit happen.
I went home. I just went home. Like, I don't have time. I'm not about to wait for this.
No. But literally, people like, going to class. People eating lunch. People having parties. People are having parties.
Like, nothing's happening. Nothing's going. There's no curfew.
There's nothing.
There's no awareness. There's literally nothing. And then Randy dies. And that's when it's like, all shit hits the fan. Because all throughout the movie, you know, everybody's saying, well, it started in Woodsboro, so obviously it has to be somebody from Woodsboro. And the only creepy person enough to murder a whole bunch of people would have been Randy. Yeah. But when he died, it was he died, so it's like, yeah, we ain't got nothing left. Back to the fucking drawing board. What do we do now? And Randy had to die. And I feel like Randy dying was also vengeance because obviously the killer was the mom and the weird nerdy film kid. And I always felt like he was jealous of Randy because he was. I mean, Randy, he was a film
very intuitive and informative and just smart and brilliant. But rest in peace, Randy.
Also, he was a film student who lived through an actual movie. Yeah. His life became a movie. And I felt like he was jealous, but then I want to be immortalized. I want to go to jail. I'm like, dude, what kind of fucking white privilege is this?
And then the mom and Gail, and she's like, can you back off? And I'm like, Gail, it's a piece of your own medicine, sis, because you don't know how to back off.
The white reporter?
Yeah. Yeah. Gail don't know how to back off.
She was getting on my nerves.
I was like, until her and Dewey got together, you know? In every film, whether it's horror or whatever, there has to be some form of romance. There has to be
love. But I love Gail and Dewey. I love them.
I like Dewey.
I love Gail though, and this look I can't say was her best Scream look because baby
that hair was sickening. She had the layers with the red, that was sickening, honey. Yes. Loved it.
And I think Scream 2 was like Bob Central. She had a Bob, Cindy had a Bob. Yes, bitch, it was out Bob. Yes, Bob. Yes. I was like, give it to me because baby, them red highlights. I was like, all right, okay, Courtney.
Did you see that or hear that one reference where they were like her nudes got leaked and it was like Jennifer Aniston's body, and I was like, that was a Friends reference.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Because I've actually never seen Friends. I've only seen a couple of episodes. It's white people humor. It's not for me.
I love it.
But I actually caught that today.
Really?
Like when I watched it today, I was like, ha, Friends.
Oh, Friends, I love it.
Because they're so cute.
And David Arquette and Courtney Cox actually got married, didn't they?
Who?
Courtney Cox and David Arquette.
Did they?
I think they did. I don't think they're together now, but I think they were married at a point.
That's crazy.
I think. Yeah.
I love matchups like that.
But they're not together anymore. Oh. Well, it's Hollywood though. So, you know, they break up. Yeah. But yeah, Scream 2. I think it's mine. I mean, granted, Scream 1 or Scream is a classic, it's a staple. But out of the rest of the series, Scream 2 is my absolute favorite.
Scream 3 is my favorite. Scream 3 is my favorite. It had the best killer plot twist because the mom being the mastermind hurts my soul. Cause I'm like, bitch,
giving very much Friday the 13th.
Like I can understand if Billy Loomis, what the fuck? Shout out to Randy. I can see if Billy Loomis was innocent and God, I cannot for the life of me remember the other character's name. But
Matthew Lillard's character, who was extremely attractive.
Girl. That man is fine. Girl.
Matthew Lillard.
Girl. Yes. That's a top tier white man. Yes. Whew, and still fine. I can see if Billy was like if the roles were reversed. Yeah. If Matthew Lillard's character was Billy and Billy was Matthew and he was just like going along for the ride, I can get that. But Billy was the mastermind. And on top of Billy being the mastermind, the only reason why he's out here murdering people is because you left, bitch. This is your fault.
This is all your fault.
Your son, all these murders, all these
Mommy
people being
issues.
dead, all of your son being dead, all of that is your fault because you decided to leave and not take your child when your man was hanging around with Marlene Prescott.
Mommy issues.
Because she's the real victim.
Yeah.
Marlene Prescott. Sydney's mother is the real villain. Along with all the murderers. But really her. Mostly her. So yeah, I was like, bitch, go on somewhere. And then him, I just want to be immortalized. Who are you, Ted Bundy?
Thank you. Here's Johnny. Okay.
Bro, like, who are you? You're Jeffrey Dahmer. You're Ted Bundy. You will never. You could never. Because you couldn't even put this together yourself. You needed help from mommy.
Yeah. What was that? Jimmy?
Keep going.
Oh, that scared me. Oh, well, see, okay.
Stuff like
oh, see,
I'm about to run out of here.
No, right. Well, I guess we can wrap up now. Okay.
Oh. I'm so
Okay.
good. Okay, well, where are we at?
Take a pause.
Okay.
Now, finish where you want to start. Ready? Go.
I think another scene that I really, really liked was the car scene when
When the cops
died. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking idiot. When he had to, when Sydney had to cross over Ghostface's body. He just laying there like, yeah, any minute now, I'm gonna get this bitch. I'm gonna get this bitch. And she crossed over his body. And honestly, Elise Neal's scream was just not convincing enough as a black woman. She's like, ah! And I'm like, girl, I need more emotion. I need something
She was
else.
very Caucasian. Her character.
I wouldn't say that. I just feel like she was just a product of her environment.
Caucasian.
You know, and
Her Caucasian environment.
You know, and that's just what that is. But
yeah.
Overall, Scream 2, I think, is a great sequel. It definitely played by the rules. There were some gruesome kills, like the police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was really gruesome.
Randy's kill?
Randy's kill was very gruesome too.
The boyfriend?
Yeah,
all
even
of
with it played by its own
mom
rules,
dying,
being very, very gruesome. So
it was amazing.
Also, wait, before we go, another scene that I really want to talk about that I feel like is really underrated is the scene where Sydney is rehearsing her play. Oh man, that is so scary.
That was
frightening. And she's just in there. And what was her name in the movie? Was it Sophia's cat? I don't know. Anyways,
some bitch.
Whoever she was playing in that play, and how convincing her professor was. Oh, you can do this. You can transform your pain into art, and that triggered her. And that was really scary. So that scene was beautiful.
And then once again, her boyfriend pops up
at the right time.
At the right.
Oh wait,
time.
we switched and this is what happened. Look, I'm over this.
Like, nah, sir. If 2 plus 2 is 4, 5 is 10. What the fuck is this?
Exactly. We don't have time.
I don't like B.
I don't like it.
I don't like.
We don't have time, and
don't have time.
Yeah, it's time to break up. For my safety and yours. And then she said, you already got stabbed, homie. Or sliced up. You don't want to get stabbed again by me. For killing you, for trying to kill me.
Okay, because if Cindy gonna do anything,
she gonna stab somebody. She gonna stab somebody. She gonna shoot somebody. What's the third one? She gonna shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm.
She aired that nigga pistol whip somebody.
Bro, she aired that nigga
She gonna do something. She's gonna do something. But
she gonna electrocute him?
That too.
Shout out to Scream 4. That was the only good part.
Sydney gonna get the job done. And with that being said, I love Scream 2. I love the black characters in this movie. Even Elise Neal, she was a little
Caucasian,
but that's okay. You know, there's a spectrum of blackness, and we love everybody that's black.
Everybody.
I love Joel and his comic relief. I love Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett for their 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. Thank you, Maddie, for coming on the show. Please check out where can we find you on socials?
All of my socials, all of my business socials are Meg Pictures _ all of my personal socials, because sometimes I live tweet through shows, if you care about my opinion, which you probably don't, but you should, is call me _ Selena spelled like the singer.
She has like 5 names.
All of those. It's my middle name. given to me by a black woman. Shout out to them. Yes, because I live tweet all the time about shows that I watch, and I'm kind of
like Snowfall.
Like Snowfall, I'm live tweeting Snowfall, and I'm kind of funny. Just a little bit.
And she's an amazing director, filmmaker, writer. Awesome. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Monstrosities Voice, Horrors Untouched Conversations, the podcast for Black Horror by Black Horror. I'm Kaija Fields. If you want to follow us on social media, you can check us out on Instagram at MVHU Podcast. Also, the same tag on Twitter, MVHU Podcast. If you want to follow our sister company, KFX Horror Group, you can follow us on Instagram at KF Horror Group. And if you want to go on the website to see the podcast, any articles that we've written, or any interviews we've done with content creators, you can go to www.kfxhorror.com. Please don't forget to support Black horror and support women in horror as well. And stay spooky. Peace.